Hey guys, Brendan and Trey here from Team Top Cut, coming to you again with our Edison stream series.
Howdy, howdy.
So this week we're going to do something a little bit different than what we've been doing the past two times. Previously, we took live matches from Trey's Edison locals and reviewed them. That is not going to be what we're doing this week. This week we wanted to try something just a little bit different. And what we're going to be doing is going into this Gaia Plate or Dark Gaia deck that Trey over here made. And what event did you take it to? Because I know you did very well with this.
Um, I took it twice to some FGG Feel Good Gaming events. Yeah, I got second at one of them. Obviously, that was gosh months ago, almost a year ago at this point. I bet. But this was closest to the version that I was playing. But yeah, I've clearly made some changes since then. So.
Okay. How'd you do when you like? How did it feel overall? I guess compared to Black Wings, which I know you've been playing for a good amount of time now.
Yeah, you certainly aren't playing this deck because you expect that it is like the best deck. Um, it has some plays for sure that no other deck can do, and there are times where you just feel invincible with this. Like there are times that it's just like, how in the world is this possibly allowed to happen in Edison? Um, but then there are other times where you just brick on five normal summons and your opponent just is able to set up defense and just kind of pressure you, and you're just there sitting Rykos and Dynas and trying not to die. You'll have both ends of the spectrum there.
All right, well, we're going to
But
be taking this deck and doing some duels with it later on, but for right now, we're just going to go over the list, the cards that you play at, the ratios that you play it at, just sort of discuss like why that's there and where the synergies lie, and then we'll go ahead and take this into a match. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first on the list, this Caius at 3.
yeah, this is sort of a classic Ryko hamster Caius deck. You have the Rykos, the hamsters, the Caius. Obviously, it's a really strong uh, just thing that can be done in Edison. Obviously, Vayu, one of the best decks, does that. Machina is pretty well known for being a Ryko hamster Caius. This deck takes advantage of it by fueling Dark Calling with the Rykos. So you're milling a bunch of your Rocks and Fiends, and then Dark Calling is essentially Miracle Fusion using Rocks and Fiends. Caius is for sure the best Fiend. Maybe Caius or Gores, best Fiend in the deck, or in Edison in general. So definitely you want to max out on your power cards there. Um, so yeah, three Caius is, when you have a Ryko set and you're able to just flip it, pop the back row, and then tribute it for Caius, it's just so strong. So yeah.
All right. Card Trooper, I don't know if we have to explain that one, but go ahead and explain how it synergizes well with the deck itself.
Yeah, similar idea with the Ryko. You're getting your mills, and then the card itself is just, you're almost always getting to draw one off of it, uh, regardless of how it gets destroyed. Um, Also, between that and Sangin, your Call of the Haunted can end up being a +1. Your opponent like Heavy Storms or MSTs, a back row. You chain Call of the Haunted, summon Sangin or Card Trooper, and you get your draw off the Card Trooper, or you'll get your search off the Sangin, which is obviously really strong. 1900 beat stick is just generally strong, just being able to do that. The only real card in the format that counters Card Trooper effectively is D Prison. So just sort of getting your mills online. Also, the fact you can use priority to get those mills and guarantee them. Um, Rather than like, oh, you set a Ryko and then they like Caius you. It's like, ah, darn. I not only did I lose the pop, I also lost the mills. Um, or like you'll summon Lila and attack, get deprisoned, or just get bottomless, and it's like, oh, darn, I lost the mills.
Mm.
But or you're always getting those mills pretty much, unless they like solemn judgment the card trooper. Which if they want to pay 4,000 to stop a card trooper, be my guest.
Yeah, go nuts.
Like sure. So yeah, that's what Card Trooper's doing.
Oh, whoops. All right.
He's unfortunately not a fiend or a rock. That's the only thing that I would appreciate. But the other nice thing too is he's an earth. So if he does get milled, he can be banished for Gigantes or Rock Spirit later. So it's at least doing something in the graveyard that's beneficial. So
All right. Next up is Doom Caliber Knight.
yeah, so Doomcal is kind of like a big question mark in this deck because he's probably like behind Caius, Gors, Sangin, um, and maybe not Sangin, but Tragodia in terms of, and even Tragodia is kind of questionable. Like what Doomcal is doing is obviously he's a normal summon body, which is nice. Um, and then he negates any monster effect by tributing itself to negate and destroy. Uh, which can be powerful, but it can also be a liability. Like if your opponent has a Treeborn in the grave, you just lost your Doom Cow for no reason. Um, or like, yeah, let's say you like your opponent has a back row, right? And you go normal Doom Cow attack, that goes through, you set a back row pass during the end phase, your opponent like Raigeki breaks your back row and sends Treeborn. It's like, oh, well, that sucks. Also, like Vayu in the graveyard will just pop the Doom Cow for free. Um,
Yeah, because
like
value doesn't
Vayu
banish for cost in
No, no, it
Edison.
doesn't. Yeah, well, it doesn't banish for cost at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so Doomcow's kind of a liability, but at the same time, he is a fiend. He is 1900 attack, which Dark Gaia needs large attack guys. Like Dark Gaia's effect is that it gains the original attack of all the monsters used for it. Um, so 1900 is pretty nice in that sense. But I play it at one. It so you take it out in the matchups where it's a liability and you put it in the matchups where it's good. um and so you just got to get like, because that's why I do the 1-1 split between one in the main, one in the side. Because you definitely don't want to be playing it like in the matchups it's bad, but you do want to play it in the matchups it's good. The decks that really rely on monster effects, it's very good. Like Lightsworn is good.
Oh, one sec. You're turning into R. Kelly.
A deck that uh, uh,
Trey?
it does well against. Okay.
Sorry, you got all
Yeah.
robotic there.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, sorry. Still okay here?
Yep, yeah, you're good now.
Okay. Yeah. So good example of a deck it's good into is like Lightsworn. X Saber is another one. Just decks that like really a monster effect and kind of be really really good against. So uh, the other problem with it though is it is a mandatory negation, which means it's kind of unfortunate because Dark Gaia itself is a mandatory activation in Edison. Uh, when it attacks, it'll flip your opponent's monsters face up attack position, and then those monsters can't activate their effects. But if you have Doom Cal on the field and Dark Gaia, that just means that you cannot attack Dark Gaia, because if you do, your Doom Cal just automatically negates and destroys it. So
Oh, that's clunky.
yeah, yeah, it is. It is, which is why you have to play it really sparingly. Like you have to make sure that you're using it in a scenario where you're going to get your value off of it. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we're gonna be moving on to the next card, but there's something similar to Doom Caliber Knight in this deck that is on the rock side of it, even on like a stats point, and we'll get there. But in the meantime, we're gonna move over to everyone's favorite stun monster, Fossil Dino Pachycephalo.
Yeah, Packy does everything for this deck, I feel like, which is why you play it at 3. Um, you'll take it out against like Blackwings, like you'll move it down to 1. But even at 1, I would still play it at 1 against Blackwings. And even against Vayu, it's really strong. Like um stacky. Both effects are very relevant. The opponent can't special summon, and the flip and special summon monsters. Notice there's not a lot of trap cards in this deck. You rely on cards like Dinah and Reich and like Tragodia Gores to kind of like defend yourself. Dinah does is it synergizes with Call of the Haunted and Release from Stone, which you'll see later. I mean, the big thing is essentially Vanity's Emptiness, because your opponent will like, activate an effect to special summon. You'll trigger a continuous spell card to summon it, and then Dinah will stop the special summon from happening. So, like, let's say your opponent uses Plague and stacks a card. It's like, oh, well, cool. Chain, stop that from happening. And now Plague just stacked a card for no reason. Your opponent just -1 themselves.
Yeah.
Or like one for one is another really great one that you can hit your opponent with. The other thing that Dinah does is it guarantees that you're gonna be able to push for lethal. Um, like if you clear your opponent's board, uh, you'll put up a bunch of big guys, and being able to use your normal summon on Dinah is really helpful because it makes sure your opponent's not going to battle Vader you. They're not going to Gores you. They're going to Tragodia. They're just going to get all your guys in and just win the game right there. Because once you've cleared your opponent's board, there's pretty much nothing your opponent can do to stop lethal from pushing through. So really good card, really helpful. For sure, play it at 3.
Gotcha. You are also going in and out of like being robot-y and static. So I don't know if it's just like the internet connection or maybe where you are and where you're staying, but heads up there.
I'll try to open up the door here and see if that gives me a better connection.
All right. Next, we're gonna move over to Gaia Plate, the Earth Giant, everyone's favorite boss monster in this deck.
Yeah, so play him. I was playing him at 3 for the longest time, and he's really strong and really good to mill, which is why I was playing him at 3. The issue comes when it's like you draw him in multiples. Your extra copies that end up in your hand, you can't really get them out of your hand very easily. Because the cost is to banish 2 rock monsters from your graveyard, and the deck is pretty good at getting like several rock monsters in the graveyard pretty quickly, but it can't get like 10.
Mhm.
So or so it can sometimes be difficult to like get all of them out of your hand. And then it also has its maintenance costs during the standby phase to banish more rocks. So I just kind of felt like playing too many copies was becoming an issue. So between that and Dark Calling, there's also some negative synergy in the sense that, like, let's say I have 2 rock monsters in the graveyard and like Gaia Plate and Dark Calling. It's like I can only use one of those cards. Since if I banish a rock for Dark Calling, now I don't have 2 rocks in the graveyard for Gaia Plate. So that was kind of the theory there. Was it's like I it's a really strong card, but and it's great to mill it. And when it worked, but you just want to kind of limit the chance that you draw multiples, because multiples is not helpful.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, next up is Gigantus.
Yeah, Gigantes serves a lot of purposes. Clearing back row is really nice. It's also just a free special, so being able to banish like um, banish our Earth from your graveyard, whether that's Card Trooper as before, Hamster, any of the rock guys are all Earths. So he's really easy to get out. He can become tribute fodder for Caius, and then his battle destruction effect is pretty helpful too. I actually had a game where I was playing I don't remember exactly what the scenario was, but I think the opponent had like two back row. I had Gigantes and Fossil Dyna in hand, and then they had Stardust on field. So I go special Gigantes attack. They go sure, that's fine. Gigantes effect. I take 600. Gigantes effect. They use Stardust to protect their back row, and then main phase two, I just normal summon Dyna, and now
Oh,
yeah, it's like there's very few plays there that are like our back row that are gonna save them at that point. Like they have to have exactly like Solemn Judgment or Compulse or something, or like Book of Moon. Um, so I there are definitely some cute ways to use Gigantes in combination with the rest of your cards. Um, so yeah, I definitely the card should be at 3. Also, just being a big beat stick is helpful. He can help push for lethal where you need to. So yeah,
yeah, fair enough. Gores. I mean, everyone knows
yeah.
Gores.
No,
Everyone knows why we're
no,
playing
no
Gores.
introduction on. Yeah, no introduction on Gores. He's obviously one of the strongest fiends in the format. So yeah, play him.
All right. Koeki Maru Guardian.
Yeah, so Guardian is kind of like Doomcal in the sense that he can negate monster effects by tributing himself, negate and destroy monsters by when they activate their effects by tributing himself. The big difference is you have to reveal a rock monster at the end of your turn in order to, as like a maintenance cost to keep him around. Uh, but the benefit is that he's not mandatory, so he doesn't conflict with anything. He's kind of like Dyna in that sense, in that he can stop your opponent's like battle tricks from preventing you from winning the game. Like if you have a bunch of guys on the field, you're gonna start your attack order with Guardian, and then it doesn't matter uh, that you attack like high to low. You just want to start with Guardian,
Hmm.
and then at any point that your opponent wants to Gores, now you can just tribute Guardian, negate, and destroy Gores or Tragodia or whatever. Um, so Guardian's really good in that sense. He's also if your opponent bottomlesses or deprisons him, that's why you have release from stone and return from the different dimension. They can both really help to sort of turn that opponent's bottomless or deprison or whatever into cool anyway. Like, just didn't matter at all. So, uh, definitely a big fan. 1900 is just a common stat among this deck, and it's nice to just have a lot of 1900 guys because I think 1800 is sort of the more typical attack stat of like high attack cards in this format. So
And I mean, we
being
look
able
at
to,
something like Hero Beat, right? One of Hero Beat's claim to fame is the fact that it just plays 1900 beaters just because.
yeah, I mean Hero Beat's mostly out of the meta, but where it does exist, it's like let's say they have an alias, you can go back to Gigantes as well. It's like if they have a Gem Spark and you go Gem Spark alias something else, you go okay special Gigantes swing into alias. It's like yes they can Gem Spark there, but it's not going to be a profitable Gem Spark. So it's nice. I do like Guardian Gigantes. Both of them do a lot of good work.
Yeah, fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
next up is Lila Lightsworn Sorceress.
Yeah, no need for an introduction there. It's just a searchable MST most of the time, and then the ability to mill is definitely helpful. Um,
All
so
right,
yeah,
Neospatian Grand
Grand
Mole.
Mole also needs no introduction. One of the strongest rock monsters in the format. So this deck is kind of interesting because you're just playing a lot of like standard good cards in the format, and they all just happen to synergize with Dark Calling. So yeah,
Raiko.
yeah, right. Or, we've mentioned the Raiko Hamster Kaya stuff enough. I think we're good.
Sangan.
Yeah, I mean Sangin's, I mean theoretically cuttable, but not really. Like you'll cut him when you're playing against like Blackwings or something because you don't want to give them just Shura food. But in general, Sangin's just really strong. Being able to tribute it for Caius and just search is really nice. Um, and then being able to summon it off Call of the Haunted is really nice.
Oh, that's true.
Uh, it's also just a fiend, um, which being able to banish for Dark Calling is nice. Sometimes you can return from the different dimension of Sangan and then tribute it for like a Caius or a Gaia Plate or something like that, or Gores, and then you get your search still. So it can definitely, it's just a really good like way to get card advantage.
And it's a
Which
fiend.
I will say, do up.
And it's a fiend.
Yeah, yeah, it's a fiend. But I will say I think this deck's biggest thing is it's really good at staying on par with the opponent in terms of card advantage. The big thing that it'll fall behind on is tempo, um, just because you'll notice that a lot of these are normal summons,
Mm.
um, and so you can definitely have hands that are clogged with a lot of normal summons and not a lot of ways to force out special summons, and that's sort of where this deck will fall behind if it does fall behind. But in
Yeah,
terms
I've.
of,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say in terms of like keeping up in card advantage, it does a really good job of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've found that this deck either like it keeps up in card advantage, but it either can fall behind. Like how you lose games is that you fall behind in card advantage, not in card advantage, in tempo.
Mhm.
And the way that you win games is going like way ahead in tempo because this deck doesn't really do slightly faster or slightly slower in tempo. It does snowballing into a lot behind in tempo or a lot ahead in tempo.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, hamster. Same thing with the Reiko, right? They all have synergy with each other.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
basically just a Earth monster that gets you to Reiko. It's got a big defense stat. Okay, Rock
Yeah.
Spirit. This is where you and I sort of began to discuss like real changes to the deck.
Yeah, I mean, Rock Spirit, I think is so it replaces the third copy of Gaia Plate, and it's just it generally easier to summon, just because Card Trooper, Hamster are also Earths, but they can't be banished for Gaia Plate because Gaia Plate has to banish rocks. Um, so you're replacing one rock with another, and I think he serves a lot of the same functions of Gigantes. He doesn't have the battle phase trickery, but it is you know same idea as Soul of Purity and Light in that okay during your opponent's turn he's like a 2K beatstick where it makes all your opponent's monsters or it gains 300 attack. Similar idea to Soul of Purity and Light, um, and it, like yes, it'll get sided out a non-zero amount of the time, but it's able to get rock monsters banished to turn on release from stone, which I think 9 is what I found was like the best number in order to make sure that you have enough ways to turn on release from stone.
Mm.
Uh, some people that I've talked with have said like, oh, the release from stone is just kind of gimmicky. It doesn't, it's not going to be on often enough. I think that's just not true. Like you'll look at like Amaryllis, right? They play like 2 or 3 copies of Trade In, but then they also only play like 6 level 8 monsters
Mm.
between like 3 Titanial, 3 Amaryllis. Um, and so it's kind of like I have 9 enablers for 2 copies of Release from Stone. Um, 3, I guess, if you want to call Return from the Different Dimension, another one. So, but it's like to me that math makes sense. Because I think Allure of Darkness as well. Like people were saying, like 7 or 8 darks at least is optimal to turn that on. So it's like okay, we have 9 ways to turn on um, Release from Stone or Return from the Different Dimension. I could be open to dropping Release from Stone down to 1, but I think 2 is like because it's like where you want to see it. You definitely want to see it. Um, but then in the matchups where it's not as good, you'll just side both of them out and it's fine. So I think Rock Spirit uh, serves the purpose that it needs to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Tragodia, same thing about Gores. Just it's a It's good
He's
fiend.
he's unfortunate because he doesn't count as any attack for Dark Gaia.
Mm.
Um, while he's in the graveyard, he counts as 0, but he is a fiend, which is nice. And then you do play so many different levels of cards. You have level 2 with Raikou, you have level 4 with like Hamster, Gigantes, well, all of that. You have level 8 with Gaia Plate. You have level 7 with Gores. You have level 6 with Caius. So very often you will be stealing your opponent's monsters with Trigodia. So that can make it really powerful.
Yeah, fair enough. And I know that a lot of people don't even know about Trigodia's steal effect because it just doesn't come up all that often.
Yeah.
All right, now to the power spells. I mean, Brain Con, staple,
I mean,
very good.
yeah, no need. I mean, yeah, Brain Con. Charge of the Light Brigade, same idea. Good card.
Just gets cards in
Three Dark
graves
Calling,
and gets Raikou in hand.
or Lila.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
3 Dark Calling, good card. You have a bunch of back row removal.
Well, so let's go over Dark Calling because for some people that might not know the synergies of this deck because right now what they're seeing is fiends and rocks and the rocks feed the rock monsters, but this is where the fiend part really comes into the deck is with Dark Calling.
Yeah, so if you scroll over Dark Gaia, that's sort of at the bottom there. Yeah. So he takes 1 fiend and 1 rock. Must be special with Dark Fusion, but Dark Calling counts as Dark Fusion. Um, and then the original attack. Yeah, original attack of Dark Gaia is whatever the materials were used for it. So that's sort of why we were pointing out the attack stat of a lot of the guys. Um, but yeah, it's basically just Miracle Fusion, or at least it's as easy to set up as Miracle Fusion. Um, it, there are certainly scenarios where Dark Gaia is better than Ab Zero. I don't think it is a better boss monster than Ab Zero. I think that would be pretty crazy to try to claim, but I think Dark Calling is kind of like it just does a lot in terms of making the whole deck cohesive.
Mm.
It turns Release from Stone on. It's also just knock to like the opponent's Raikos, but like you don't banish your own Raikos, which is nice. Um, it Yeah, I mean it just gets you to your beat stick. The whole point here is that you're sort of treading the idea with this deck is that you are kind of treading water with your opponent. It's okay for you to lose life points in this deck. The only life point in this deck that matters is your last one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have at least 2 life points so that you can return from the different dimension, win the game. That's what matters. Like your opponent can be ahead on card advantage, ahead on board, all of that stuff. But as long as you're setting up your graveyard so that you can go for one big push, and you holding your heavy storms, giant true nades, all of that stuff, MST until you're ready to make a big push. It's like that's sort of the whole goal of this. And Dark Calling is one of those cards that definitely facilitates that sort of final push.
That is interesting
Being
how for such an aggressive deck, the key to success is patience.
Yeah, well, it's patience, but it's also timing.
Mm-hmm.
Like being, uh,
Like
you
knowing
definitely,
that moment.
yeah. Sometimes the moment is thrust upon you in such a way that it's like, my life points are so low, I'm gonna lose next turn if I don't go for it right now. Sometimes you have to do that, but a lot of times you can definitely just play the waiting game. So
All right. Giant Trunade. Now we see that this is not played in a lot of Edison format decks. I remember this card being a staple at one point, but for some reason I don't really see it all that often in Edison. Why are you playing it in this?
yeah, I mean, it's a -1, so it makes sense why a lot of decks aren't playing it. I even have considered not playing it because I do already have a decent amount of back row removal between Raikou, Lila, MST, Heavy Storm. So I think there's Gigantes as well, kind of. I think there's a like it's not a stupid argument to say Giant Tornade maybe should just come out for something else. Um, but here it does have some beneficial synergies. Uh, so you look at something like Call of the Haunted. If you Call of the Haunted Sangan and then you Giant Trunade, Sangin goes to grave, you get to search. That's just free. Same with like Card Trooper, you'd get to draw one. That's just replaces the -1 essentially. Release from stone. If you release from stone, doesn't remove itself from the field unless the monster is destroyed. So if you have, yeah, it's when that monster is destroyed, destroy this card. So Guardian tributes itself in order to uh, activate its own effect. So if you release from stone Guardian and then Guardian activates its effect, release from stone will just kind of sit there on field. You can True Nade it back and then use it.
Oops.
Oh boy, that's fun. um,
Oh, whoops.
you can also same idea with like Grand Mole, right? If you attack with Grand Mole, bounce it, the release from stone will still stay there. Let's say you release from stone just any guy, and then you tribute that guy for Caius. Release from stone is still going to stay there. So there's a lot of different ways that these cards get stranded on the field. So Trunade is kind of a it kind of gives you that +1 back in that sense. It also can turn Gores back on as well, but since some of those cards will get stranded on the field, uh, like you want to get them off your field, so you'll
Mhm.
Trunade, get them back to your hand to turn Gores back on. Um,
And then
so
obviously there's also times where you have that I'm ready to push for game hand, and they have
yeah,
like 2 back row, and you're like, well, the only way that I guarantee a win is getting rid of those, and True Nade's just sitting in there ready for you to use it.
yeah, of course, yeah. True Date definitely, like, I think it has enough synergies that it deserves serious consideration. But I think you know, it's there are enough times where those synergies don't happen that it's just kind of like, oh well, this is just a straight -1. Like, if my opponent has like one back row and I'm not like really True Nade, you kind of need to draw it late in the game in order
Mhm.
for it to find those synergies. Whereas if you draw it early, there's no real way to like benefit from it, right? Like you open True Nade in your opening hand, and it's like, I'm not going for a push early, so you're kind of just sort of having True Nade sit in your hand.
Mhm.
This was another reason I wanted to cut Gaia Plate down to 2, was because these cards are cards that are really good late in the game or mid to late game. So you don't like having too many cards like that just means that you have, like, if I open a hand of like 2 Gaia Plates, Trunade, Heavy Storm, like, cool, but also I don't have a way to like even get to the mid or late game.
Mhm.
Um, so it is about kind of balancing that as best you can.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah,
Heavy Storm, MST, obviously, spell check
yeah,
removal staples.
yeah, good cards. Play them.
Call of the Haunted and Release from Stone sort of honestly, these three cards all serve the same purpose of Return from Different Dimension, Release from Stone, and Call of the Haunted. If you just want to give like a very quick overview, because you've already kind of talked about how Release from Stone synergizes with uh, Dark Calling, the
Well,
Giga.
I don't think they all serve exactly the same
Well,
purpose. I think
functionally,
even functionally, because Release from
really.
Stone's big thing is that you're summoning Fossil Dyna
Hmm.
very often. Sometimes you're also summoning like Guardian, sometimes you're summoning Gaia Plate, but very often you're using Release from Stone as Vanity's Emptiness. Call of the Haunted. A lot of times you're using Call of the you're setting Call of the Haunted, and then because your opponent hasn't had a lot of opportunities to like hit your back row, like that's where they're heavy storming, and then you're chaining the Call of the Haunted to get your Card Trooper draw or your Sangin search.
Hmm.
Um, Return from the Different Dimension is sort of your, oh, okay, suddenly nothing matters anymore. And like Return from the Different Dimension is kind of pseudo Heavy Storm Giant Trunade, because now you're just playing all of your guys and playing into your opponent's back row. And then whenever they stop you, you just go, okay, cool. That's the end of the game for you.
Yeah.
Uh, I I definitely had one game where I had something like that happen where my opponent like they mirror forced like my entire board, and I was like, because they had one back row and I couldn't figure out what it was until eventually they mirror forced me, and I'm like, okay, that's the end of the game for you. And then I flipped the return from the different dimension, summon like Gaia Plate, Caius, Fossil Dyna. Um,
It's one of those, call an
uh,
ambulance, but not for me.
yeah, it's I mean that card is crazy. You definitely don't want to be using return from the different dimension defensively. Uh, I mean, if it happens, it happens, and there's not much you can do about it. But um, it, like you can use it in a similar way to Strom Stone to summon a Dyna and stop a special summon, but you got to pay afterlife points at that point. So if it happens, it happens. But the card is just way too good not to play.
Yeah.
And it's same thing with Dust Shoot. Yeah.
Just way too good not to play.
Yeah.
All right. We can just kind of speed run here through the side deck. I do see that you've got some extra copies of like Lightsworn and Doom Calibers here.
Yeah, it's a pretty typical like side deck in general. You know, Sidras are a common staple. DD Crows. The second Doom Cal, like I mentioned before, it's hedging for the scenarios where Doom Cal is really strong. You play your second one, you put it in, um, or you just take both of them out. Aaron searchable off of charge, really good into like frogs because a lot of times their turn one is like set Treeborn, uh, set dupe frog, something like that. Aaron just punishes the heck out of that. Um, Zombies, it's also really good into because a lot of their turn ones are like set pyramid turtles, set goblin zombies, something like that. And they're not expecting you to just get Aaron and just go, whoop, there goes your guy.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, bottomless, bottomless dust tornado. So you'll notice a lot of the cards are cards that you take out against Blackwings, Release from Stone, Fossil Dyna, uh, Doom Cal. Well, you probably keep Doom Cal in, but Sangan. I tend to take out the Giant Trunade as well. Uh, there's a lot of cards that you don't want to be giving Blackwings just like targets in general. So you end up having a lot of side deck cards that are also good into Blackwings, so that you can side them in between Bottomless, Dust Tornado, Trap Stun, Sidra. You're sort of taking all of these cards that are bad in that matchup because they're not doing much and putting in cards that are better. Torrential is another good example. So yeah.
I mean, Destiny is just back row hate for the back row heavy
Yeah,
decks.
Value and Blackwings, it's definitely coming in. Mirror Force is the more aggressive decks. I mentioned before, like you don't tend to have a lot of defense. So against decks like I mean, Gladiator Beast is a good example. X Sabers, just sort of general decks that are trying to push and kill you. Uh, you definitely sometimes you do just need defense trap cards that aren't like you can't just rely on like Hamster Ryko to save the day.
Mm.
So yeah, Rug is you already have a pretty good matchup into, but they definitely can sneak their way back in. Like even though you are main decking the triple Dyna, they can sneak their way back in with like a Soul Exchange Caius sometimes, and you just definitely turn that stuff off where you can. It's also good in other like Diva Hero and like some of like the Dark Hero stuff that plays like the Armageddon Knight, Caius, that type of stuff. So yeah, you play it for the matchups where it's good.
Torrential.
Yeah, Torrential's Torrential, and then Trap Stun is Trap Stun. Trap Stun's very it's mostly there for Blackwings because I think that matchup is pretty tough. But obviously there are other matchups that it hits pretty good. So yeah.
Now, most of this extra deck's kind of functionally pointless. Like all the synchros exist for BrainCon, basically, and that's it.
Brain Contragate, but yeah.
Oh yeah. The two monsters that steal cards, but the Fortress Dragon just because you have the Sidras and you just have the space, and then Dark Gaia
You also
is the
have
key to the deck.
Haunted.
Yeah. So what?
You also have Call. You have Call of the Haunted. Like
That's
if you
true.
use your first side deck, and like you're playing against Machina, you can use Call of the Haunted, summon inside your back,
That's
and
true.
do it again.
But yeah, actually, that kind of explains itself. Just play good synchro staples, and this is the only card that really matters.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take this deck into some Edison matches. Let's see how we do. I've never done Edison before. It looks like there isn't anyone in Edison right now, but we will start.
Are you not just going to go to rated?
Is there an Edison rated?
Yeah.
Oh, there is. Wait. I've never done this before, so. I've never done the Edison rated ladder on DB. I'm excited. This is going to be interesting if we ever find a match.
No, I mean, we will. The people play pretty frequently. Got to go with rock. No.
Hey, it worked. I did it randomly and it worked.
So I will say
you got to go with rock. That's funny.
It definitely benefits a lot from being able to go first.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's really only one play here, right?
Yeah.
And it's charge. The question is whether, well, yeah, I guess you use it. So go ahead and mill your 3. Yeah, unfortunately that kind of tells the opponent what you're up to, but go ahead and get your Raiko. And then I would say set the Raiko and then probably just don't do anything else because
I'm thinking about setting the Grand Mole.
Why?
Reason being is they're gonna probably try to play around a Raiko if they know that it's there, so they'll be doing everything like they'll try not to commit to a board, knowing that the Raiko is there. In which case, I can punish them with the Grand Mole.
They might just swing with a Vayu.
Yeah, in which case, Grand Mole just bounces it back and I get an extra turn.
Grand Mole has to be face up. Start of the damage.
You're right. Okay.
So I would say just set the Raiko, and then you want to just pull the rest of the cards in.
Yeah, I guess if the Grand Mole could do it while face down, that'd be I'd probably do that. If Grand Mole could bounce back when it's set face down, I'd set the Grand Mole, make him feel uncomfortable committing to a board because Raiko's there, and then punish him really hard on the next turn with the Grand Mole.
All right. Go ahead and pass here. Yeah.
Good news is we do have one of the release from stones in hand, so we didn't.
Yep, and the Gigantes. So we're hoping to get some rocks milled. Okay.
Okay, so he's on Lightsworn or Chaosworn.
Yeah, which is fine. So I think here.
I think we just keep the Raiko set, right?
Yeah. You just go main 1. Summon the Guardian, and then just swing over. Yep, and then shuffle your hand as well, just so he doesn't know where stuff is. Go end phase, and then reveal probably Grand Mole, because they don't play a lot of synchros, so revealing Grand Mole doesn't, like, Gigantes is a stronger card, so you want to show them the weaker card. Grand Mole doesn't do much against them, so okay. So we're kind of building
pretty good start. Yeah, pretty good start.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have a great mill, but we're in a good situation. We had something bigger than what they could summon. We still get to keep our Raiko. Any monster effect they activate, we can stop. This feels comfy.
And then if they do swing over Guardian, you have Tragodia.
Yep, we got Tragodia, we got Grand Mole. I can banish the Guardian to summon Gigantes if this goes to grave, and then bring it back with release from stone.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason for you to activate Guardian.
Because he'll suicide crash and get his draw anyway. I don't want him to mill 3 for free.
No. Mill is cost anyway.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing. Yeah. Okay, so he milled the second honest.
Yeah.
Is that yeah? So that's good to know.
It means that we don't have to worry about honest for the entire game.
Yeah.
Unless we see him add it back to hand. But I think he milled the beckoning. Yeah, he milled beckoning as well. So unless he plays more than one, I think we're just good on honest. And we'll know when he adds the honest
Well,
back with beckoning
honest.
anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like definitely in a decent spot. Unfortunate that he had card trooper. That there are very few punishes here. So you definitely are targeting the trooper. The question here is whether or not you're negating the effect with the guardian. So mill your three, uh, uh, and then do the think emoji. Think. Hold on. Well, okay. Your guardian. Okay. First of all, your Raiko goes to the grave. Um,
I think
and
I don't think
then
I don't think I negate the draw. Why would I do that?
no, you're right. Yeah, you don't. You let that through. But it was at least worth thinking about.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know why I would.
Well, I mean, it could be hand dependent that it makes sense to do it, but certainly there, I don't think it did.
His mills have been a little rough. I mean, he does have Lightsworn count 3 now, 4 now. So he can summon
Hmm.
JD, but I've got Guardian on board, so like summoning JD doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Yep. So draw for turn. Um, go main one.
I think I summoned Gigantus by banishing the Dyna, right?
Um, I saw that, but I think there's no real reason for you to,
Well, I can keep him.
because
I
you're not.
can keep him off JD next turn if something happens to this Guardian. But I guess I should probably
Well,
battle with Guardian first. No, I can just MST the back row.
well, no, because the back row is probably like it's a fake back row. It's not real. So you want to hold the MST for Trigodia, um, so that you have more guys. I think the play here is just a normal Guardian. Um, and now if he JD's swings over one of the Guardians, he can't just JD effect.
Mm.
And now I think you just put some damage in.
I don't summon Gigantus first.
I don't think so. I don't think you need to because it doesn't turn the clock faster. Okay, sure. That's a -1. We take those. This is see, very glad you did not MST that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, and now you just go end phase, reveal double Grand Mole. Because the thing is, JD isn't an activated effect, so release from stoning Fossil Dyna doesn't help that much.
Ah, I see. Well, there's JD.
Yeah, it negate absolutely. What?
Ooh.
I mean, sure. Okay. You still have Trigodia, so I think you're fine.
So I take 3K, then summon Tragodia, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, and then you special it.
What's it? It's 600 per card in hand, right?
Just don't do anything.
Okay.
You're fine.
So it's at 6, 12, 18, 24. It'll be at 3K to start my turn.
Mm-hmm. If he wants to pay another 1,000 to destroy it, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So we're definitely in a situation here. So I think
This is where I think we Grand Mole. Wait, because I can just stop them from summoning JD with Dinah, right?
yeah.
So I
Okay,
think
well
we Grand Mole bounce this back to hand. Gigantus banish over the Dinah. Grand Mole.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Yep. Just make sure you do the attack order right.
Mm-hmm.
No. You gotta summon the Gigantes first
Why?
in main phase 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you looked like you were about to click the battle phase. So battle phase here, and then you swing into the JD. Yep. And then you'll swing into the set with the Gigantes. Sure. Okay. Main 2. Set the release from stone. This is definitely risky because if he just has a guy to walk over Dinah, that sucks.
But we got to
there's
do what we
also
got to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll special it in defense just because they do have 1200 attack guys.
Yeah.
So we're kind of just hoping at this point that that this plus like Grand Mole plus like Raiko, I don't know, maybe you'll be able to stabilize.
Maybe I'll top deck something nice.
Yeah.
He's thinking for a long time though. So there's the Jane.
Yep. I think we're hoping to get to deck out. I think that might be the only way to.
That's a nice draw.
Very nice.
So I think we set the Raiko, yeah.
Yeah, set Raiko, set Dashu. Question is, do we set MST at this point? I think we do. Because we want to bait out back row removal. So I think we end turn here. Hopefully he doesn't have 2 JDs.
Let's go. Okay.
Check his graveyard for how many fairies he has.
I mean, he's got the Herald though. That sucks. But we have to get rid of JD because even if
we can't let him keep the JD.
Like no matter what. So like even if he does have even if Christia is live.
Yeah. You want to check his graveyard to see? So he has
2
fairies?
Yeah.
How in the world has that happened? He's milled so much. All right. You can get rid of the one moment in the chat there. Yeah. So now we're just hoping that we draw like Dark Calling or something.
Yeah, Dark Calling. I don't know if Gaia Plate gets us there.
I mean, Gaia Plate, I mean, it doesn't kill, but it okay, that's a bold strat.
Well, if it's a Raiko, yeah. Okay, well now he's at 3 fairies in grave.
4. Isn't the Celestial?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, there's a Gaia Plate.
Well, Gaia Plate's helpful. Honestly, that gets us in a really good position.
I think we just Raiko. I think we Raiko pop the set.
Yep.
Grand Mole bounce the Jane, summon Gaia Plate.
Why are we not just summoning Gaia Plate anyway?
Yeah, we're going to.
Like, in attack and just attacking over Jane. Why are we bouncing the Jane?
To get more damage in?
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because that's good to do. I don't know. What is giving
I mean,
him the Jane back do for us that's like wrong?
I guess that's fair. All right. Well,
I don't
attack
mind if he
the.
wastes a normal on Jane again, you know.
I suppose. Sure.
So let's flip someone first.
Yeah. Hit the Raikou. Yep. Well, he also could. Okay. Chose not to use the. All right. And now we. Yeah. I guess we just summon both. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Summon the Gaia Plate first. Yep. So banish probably Fossil Dyna and really doesn't matter what the other one is. Maybe a Guardian, but doesn't matter. And then just battle phase. I mean, he could draw like Solar Recharge and doing this, but whatever. I think, yeah, it's fine. So he does have 4 fairies, which is unfortunate, but
Christia can't swing over Gaia Plate, can it?
no.
We just have to make sure that we just have to hope that he doesn't top deck JD.
Yeah, if he top decks JD, I mean, we're just dead. Does he have a JD in the graveyard?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate too. And he has 4 fairies. Maybe we should have swung. Maybe we should have flipped Raikou, swung into their Raikou so that they mill more to turn off.
Cold
Yeah,
Wave, sure.
well, we knew he had it. Maybe we should have tried to get him to mill fairies first. I feel like so his hand is like it's Herald, Christia, Jane, and then 1 blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jane's a warrior, right?
Yeah. But I was saying like we could have flipped the Raikou, hit the Jane, and then Raikou swing into Raikou.
Mm-hmm. Just to make him mill more.
Yeah. To make him hopefully mill too many fairies.
Yeah, I think he's checking on when the Gaia Plate can trigger.
Yeah, Gaia Plate will be the last thing that happens. So the Christia is basically gonna swing, and then Christia will go back to his top deck. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Grand Mullen hand is only
It's definitely
it's only 11 if he summons nothing else, but he'll
it's
probably summon
definitely
the
an
Jane.
awkward situation. Yeah, we got to draw something like very good here.
So explain why Gaia Plate, right?
Sorry,
Why is
do
it
what?
the last thing that happens?
It's because it's a continuous effect,
Mhm.
and yeah, and so it just works different.
Oh, interesting. It's worse than that. Ruling page says it would have Christia, then Honest comes in, then it halves again.
Well,
Huh.
so if he does no, if he uses honest, well, we'll tell him about it after. He used honest first. Like if he uses it at the start of damage step, then Gaia Plate will.
We'll explain it now. It's fine. Trey, you're breaking up again.
You use honest in damage calc, then say what?
You're breaking up again. So if you use Honest at the start of damage step, it'll only have once.
Yeah. And that ruling is also like very controversial. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense, in the ruling page that it comes from
Mm.
doesn't make a lot of sense. So like if you go and look at like
Well, I'll
it's
look
not
at
going
it
to make sense.
later. Yeah. But hey, that's good to know that
So
that's how a lot of Edison people will be ruling it because of the page saying that. So
yeah.
what should I
All right,
be?
so let's get rid of a lot of backer removal because that's not doing anything. Um let's get rid of the Lila too. I think that's not very helpful.
I do think that
Uh
the torrential, the bottomless, and the DD crows belong.
I agree. I agree. I think Doomcow also probably should come in. Um I think I think Dust Shoot is still probably good enough to play. So
That's why I didn't take
probably
it out yet. Yeah, just because it
yeah.
being able to rip a Honest or a JD is kind of really critical.
Yeah. Um Going second, I tend to take out one hamster, which I think is pretty normal
That's
here.
fair.
Um and then we
We can
can
also
take
take
out
out
one
a.
release from
I was just we take out like a fossil dino because we know that they play a bunch of monsters that can just swing over it.
well, I think Fossil Dyna, it still does like enough things that are beneficial. Um
I just don't want
I
to.
would
I just
keep
don't
it
want to
around.
mill our
Otherwise,
one copy of Release from Stone and then that be that. You know.
no, I mean that doesn't matter.
Okay.
But release from Stone is a nice to have, not a critical to have.
You
Um
are Trey the Rock Johnson, so
yeah.
fortunately this deck also plays okay going second,
Yeah.
depending on the hand.
So Card Trooper is very good going second because you'll do the same thing into the Raikou.
Mm-hmm.
Dust Shoot, very nice. This is an incredible hand, to be honest. Sucks that he's using the solar recharge on the
Yeah.
Raikou instead of, is what it is. All right.
Oh,
Oppression, that's a card.
he milled it.
All right. So it's definitely just Trooper.
Yeah.
And then mill your 3. You can just do slash mill 3
Oh, there goes both Doom
for
cows.
that. I mean, that's fine. And then just battle phase swing. That's fine. All right. Main 2. So I think you don't want to draw phase
Yeah,
Dust Shoot. I
I'm
think
gonna
you want
wait
to
for
try.
him to Raikou pop it.
Yeah, wait until either he has 4 cards in hand or he tries to pop it. Yeah.
Basically force out an interaction on the card that makes me go like, haha.
Yeah, unless he gets down to 4 cards in hand, in which case then you'll
Then
do
you can
it.
see, yeah, because you don't want him to fall under. Ha 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 ha. Get jebaited. Fuck. This card, okay, Lightning Vortex, I've been seeing a lot more decks play this card, and it actually seems really good.
It's fine. It makes sense in this deck. I don't think it makes sense in a lot of. So I think it's tough here. So what does his graveyard look like?
It's 1 Raikou, 1 Hamster, 1 Solar Recharge, and Royal Oppression.
Okay, so he's got no fairies at the moment. I think there might be an argument to just get rid of the Raikou.
That's what I'm thinking, because like he can't summon any of this shit.
Yeah. Like if he tributes the Raikou for Celestia, like sure.
That's fine, yeah.
Also, we can't stop that from happening anyway because
he does have a Herald. But that's fine.
Yeah. Well, Raikou. Yeah. And then we also have a DD Crow to prevent Christia.
Yeah.
If we need to.
It's just when they have 4 fairies in grave, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, and now he has to mill 3.
He doesn't have to, but I will remind him.
Yeah. Well, no, he does.
Oh, is it a have to in Edison?
Yeah, it's all one effect. Destroy and then mill 3. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can choose an Edison though.
You can choose to only mill. You can't choose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay, so he has 1 Lightsworn name and 2 fairies.
Yep. And that's 1 JD down. We know the other one's in hand.
Yeah.
So hand was double Celestia, 1 Christia, 1 JD, 1 Lightning Storm.
So the interesting thing here will be if he Celestias, I think he has to Celestia because otherwise we just get to keep Card Trooper. We're going to play this Card Trooper.
Yeah, we're getting the draw off of this no matter what because he has to Celestia, right?
Yeah. Like that's his only play.
Unless he just wants to leave me on Card Trooper, which is just wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you'll just activate the Trooper.
Do I?
Yeah, definitely.
Do I Dyna the Wolf? Because he's at 1, 2 names engrave. I don't have a way to out this Wolf. Yeah.
Well, you have the Dyna, but yeah, I think you do.
Wait, do I?
You have Dyna that would out the Wolf?
I think that's fine then.
Okay, then sure. So get your draw. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a very good one.
That was a very good draw. Oh shoot, you know what I just
don't have any rocks in grave.
He has a second Celestia in hand.
I don't have rocks in grave is the other issue.
Yeah. This is kind of rough. So we're kind of hoping for like a Caius here. There we go. I mean, sometimes, so yeah, so yeah. Yeah, this was the plan.
That's so funny. But now he's out of Raikous and he has 1, 2, 3 Lightsworns in grave, so I don't have to worry about JD.
Yep, and his hand is JD, Christia, Celestia, Lightning Vortex.
Yep.
So.
So
the other thing to pay attention to here, Lightning Vortex pitches.
Yeah, he can Lightning Vortex the Celestia.
Well, so if you Lightning Vortex pitches Celestia, you have to DD Crow after that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, should I maybe instead have swung over the Celestia and then banished the wolf?
No, I think you were fine because you don't want to give him more fairies.
I guess that's true. Yeah, okay. Because he's at what, 2 fairies right now?
Yeah. So I think when he lightning vortexes, you definitely want a DD Crow.
Yeah, I'll chain the DD Crow and banish the Celestia.
Yeah.
Here's what, 1 unknown in hand?
Yeah, one unknown. And he has 2 fairies in the grave at the moment. Is that correct? Yeah, perfect. Yep. So I think we just go Dinah here, right?
Do we?
Maybe Guardian is better because that'll stop the milling from any of the others.
Yeah, and it'll put an extra rock engrave to summon Gaia Plate if he does get to JD.
Yeah, okay. Guardian's the right call then.
Hello? My phases? There we go. Okay.
And then I think you reveal the Gaia Plate because at the moment that's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you want to reveal the Fossil Dino.
All right, 2 unknowns.
So now we're just hoping he doesn't have Jane. That would be bad. But other than that, I don't really know like what.
Well, doesn't Jane?
Okay.
Do I
negate that? Negate. Well, actually, yeah, for sure.
Oh, punished.
I mean, that's fine. That's not the end of the world.
And now he's got 4 engrave.
Yeah. Or does he?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he hit the Jane. You're right. So,
Oof.
so we're at 3,600 here.
I mean, I've got the card trooper to protect myself with RDD.
Well, so my thinking here is that maybe there's an argument.
Normal Dinah, Suicide Crash, banish it to summon Gaia Plate, set RDD.
That doesn't. I think you just set Sangan, and then you're not dead.
Yes, I am. Because if he summons Judgment Dragon, right?
Right.
Lila swing over. So like he JD's, or he can. Oh, because in order to JD clear, he would have to send his own Lila, right?
Yeah.
I see.
I think you just set the Sangan.
Just set Sangan?
The question is whether you're not going to set the return from the different dimension because Lila will. So I think it's.
Why don't I just set Fossil Dino then?
Because if he clears that,
then I'm fine. Because I can summon Gaia Plate. If I set the Fossil Dino, he summons JD, swings with Lila.
You're right. You can clear it. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Sure.
How many fairies does he have in grave? Still just 2?
I think only 2. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Also, you should be shuffling your hand every time you draw. Just sort of to not let him know where cards are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so he has JD in hand.
He's JD and Christia and 1 unknown.
1 unknown. So the question here is whether he's going to summon
JD or not.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, then we're fine. But if he does, then we're fine.
Yeah, it's going to be a chess puzzle of what to do after this is the thing. Because it's like, if he just attacks with Lila, then we could summon Gaia Plate. But if we summon Gaia Plate, now we don't have rocks in grave.
Hey.
Okay, that's fine. Sure.
If he normal summons something, though, I'm cooked.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is what. Oh wait. Oh yeah, you're dead. Okay, that's fine. It is what it is.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so going first here, I think you.
I think I just keep this.
Well, I want to fit the hamster in if I can. The second hamster. So maybe take out Rock Spirit. Well, no, I like Rock Spirit.
No, this seems fine.
Okay, that's fine. Sure. I think that game felt winnable.
It did. It I don't know. I don't know. Like the looming threat of the JD, like it was basically just a matter of time until he got there. I needed to be able to push for damage soon.
So question here. I think it may just be set Dust Shoot and not even summon the Guardian. Because you might be able to get a Gorse through if you just set the Dust Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yep. I don't think. No. Hold it.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, on attack, you'll activate the Dust Shoot. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so it's either Celestia. We probably take the Celestia, right? Because that turns off Solar Recharge, and he can't Herald. So I think. So, well, you should write down his hand. So it's Mirror Force, Recharge. We'll take your 1850, yeah, and then summon Gorse. Okay, so his hand was Mirror Force, Solar Recharge, Herald, Hamster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Okay, so we know that's the Mirror Force.
Yeah.
I think we put the Gorse to defense, normal summon the Sangan. Or I guess we could set the Sangan.
So this, yeah, it's definitely a. This is unclear.
This definitely goes to defense.
Yeah, for sure. I think you do summon the Sangan.
An attack or set it?
An attack. I think you attack and then try to. Well, the question is whether or not he's going to Mirror Force just the token. Because you do want to bait out the Mirror Force.
I guess I do just want to start pushing damage. So I guess normal summoning Sangan. Yeah.
Yeah, got to make him think about it. Perfect. That's fine. Swing.
I think I set this.
I think you do, yeah, for sure.
Because I don't like. He's not. Yeah, he's not gonna be playing much back row hate, and if something problematic ever comes up,
you can also torrential and get rid of your own Sangan, and then search. So yeah, no, that's good. Okay, so his hand is Herald, Hamster, Solar Recharge. So that's probably Hamster. All right. So main one here.
it's Solar Recharge, Hamster, one unknown, and what was the last card in hand? It was Solar Recharge, Hamster.
I think we might just pass. 'Cause I think
What's that last card in his hand?
Well, we don't know the
We
last
have we
card.
have one unknown. We know Solar Recharge. We don't know. Do we
It's
have two
Hamster
one?
or Harold. Hamster or
Harold.
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 Yeah.
Harold. Okay.
So here's what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna flip the hamster, summon Raikou, then he's gonna try to summon Harold, synchro for Goyo. I think you want a torrential on the Goyo summon. So I think you just switch the Sangan to defense and just let it go. And then just end turn. Because you don't want to commit more things because you're gonna try board.
I can normal summon Guardian.
So just, no, you don't want to. Oh, to bait out the mirror. That's a good call. Yeah, you should. That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to get rid of that Mirror Force as soon as possible. Like, I
No,
don't want
that's
I don't want
a
that
good
just
call.
sitting there.
You're
And
right.
even if he doesn't flip it, then I just get to keep him off the Raikou.
Yeah, no, that's for sure the right call. We need maybe 15 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah, like perfect. Mirror
Yeah.
Force is gone. Heyo.
Yep. And then just pass turn. Yep.
Should I put this to attack?
Well, you don't need to. You're gonna torrential the Gores anyway. I would just like. There's no point in putting it in attack. I don't think.
Goyo's 28.
Yeah, but you're gonna torrential the Goyo anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, the play here is that he's gonna flip the hamster, then he's Goyo, and then you're gonna torrential, and then you're gonna get a search. Ooh, okay, interesting. Can we kill here?
We don't have two rocks in grave.
Yeah. Well, I do think we keep him off the Raikou. I think we normally Grand Mole.
So wait, what does normally Gramble do?
We're gonna bounce the Raikou.
Doesn't it still trigger? Oh
No.
no, because it's set.
Yeah. And then we switch the Gores.
Oh shoot.
Nope. Wait, did that show him the card?
No, it banished it face down.
Okay, well switch the Sangan to attack. And then just battle face. And then to hand.
It's lagging.
Woo!
I
We
hate when
love
this
DB.
happens, dude.
We love DB. So two hand, and then swing with the Gores. Yep. And then even if he has Gores, we still have Torrential. So
Just start pushing for damage, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so now we know his hand is a Raikou in it.
He's got a Raikou, his Raikou, Harold.
Yeah, we know Solar Recharge. Oh, well, that's annoying that we gave him a Raikou.
But it's
Solar
fine. We
Recharge.
didn't want his Raikou going off. I'd rather him discard it than use it on the set.
That's true. Okay. Okay, so it's Solar Recharge, Raikou, Herald, and that's it. That's all we know.
Okay, there was a wolf there. Yep.
Okay. So we still know he has Raikou in hand then.
All right, so he's got 3 in grave.
3 names.
3 names in
Yep.
grave. He doesn't have the luxury of continuing to set Raikou pass because we have Grand Mole. We're killing him next turn if he doesn't do more. So he has to play the game this turn. Although I guess he doesn't know that, right? Because he hasn't seen the Gigantes or the Gaia Plate, so he doesn't know that we have just a free Gigantes. Okay.
Yeah.
Gold Sark.
Okay. Well, the game's going to be over before that gold Sark goes through.
If he doesn't banish JD here, then it means he has it in hand, right?
It's kind of unclear. Like, we'll see.
I guess we can see what he
What
banishes,
is-
yeah. Because one's in grave. He looked at his grave. He looked at his deck. Stopped looking at his deck, looked at his grave, and then went back into his deck. So I think he was checking for JD. Which means that he probably has the extra copy in hand if he doesn't banish it.
That's possible.
I think he has it in hand.
Maybe. Okay. We may be able to lethal here. We'll try. All right, so draw for turn.
The only thing that beats us here is, I guess, beats us in quotes is Gores, right?
So, okay, so go main one. So my thinking was that we could go Gigantes, summon Dinah.
Why? Is that lethal? Like if I Sangan swing over the Raikou, then he pops the Gores. If he mills a wolf, then that sucks.
Well,
Oh, he can't special flip with the Dinah. Yeah, you're right. So let's see. Dinah plus Gigantes is what? That's
41.
That's not
No,
enough.
because it's not going to be enough.
We have to go for game.
Well, we
And if
can't
he-
go for game.
Yes, we can.
How?
Grand Mole bounce back, summon Gigantes, swing.
Oh, and just hope that that's going to do it?
Yeah, because if he needs to have exactly Gores in hand to stop that.
That's true. Okay, fair enough. So 2 hand. Okay, that's fine. So now we need him to take out the gigantic.
What?
Well, we want him to hit the Giganti. Giganti, it gets destroyed. It'll destroy our back row.
Only if it's destroyed by battle.
So-
If you
Right,
summon something
but-
that's big enough to swing over it, we have torrential.
Right, but we don't want to have to until our feet. We don't have. I think we swing with Gores.
No, I'd rather just push for damage. He's gonna get rid of the Gores no matter what.
Okay.
He's not gonna be stupid enough to get rid of the Gigantes.
Okay.
I think pushing for damage here is the best possible option. Oh!
Okay. Well, that means he has to have like a thing in the graveyard, or a Gores, right?
Well, so here I just attack for 19, right? Definitely attack for 19 at least. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fairies in grave.
Well, he has to have something to stop you, right? You have lethal on board. Like if he doesn't, then he just dies.
The question is, do I play into the Gores here? Because he's not summoning Christia.
Well,
He has,
no, what? He can't summon
Oh.
Gores. Just
You're right.
swing for 27 to 25. Just kill him. Yeah, what?
You're right. I forgot that
Okay.
damage has to happen first. Okay, hey, we did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
JD, yeah.
He was just a Google. Okay.
So even if he got to the JD, we had the bottomless.
Yeah, I think we were okay.
Woo! We did it. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, thanks for
Let's
thanks for this. Yeah, it was good to get a breakdown of the deck, show some gameplay for it. It feels like Lightsworn was a good comparable matchup, right? Because Lightsworn is basically just doing the same thing that this rock deck is. Milling from deck, trying to load up the graveyard with names/bodies to use to generate our big monsters in hand, like Gaia Plate. The only thing that we do a little bit differently is we banish those and use the banish pile as a separate resource.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good matchup. It's interesting that he clocked into that my body was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, so it'll be interesting to see if my body, because I know a lot of people have started playing it because of Black Wings and Icarus Attack. So it'll be interesting to see if like that card's popularity would translate into stopping this particular deck.
Mhm.
But who knows? All right, well, I have to go, but
Yeah, no,
this
seriously.
was
Thanks
good
for
stuff.
joining me with this. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording there, and I'll post this to YouTube in a little bit. Thanks for being here. See ya.